Okay, good morning everyone. This is the last part of our chapter, intermediate level. So today we are going to do something with the module, which is the last, and why is it very important for us to use it. So module enable us to split our code in JavaScript into separate file, and we can be able to call them and use them in one main entry of JavaScript. That means you can have separate file, like in HTML you can have HTML for about us, HTML for download, HTML for contacts. Like you can separate them very many, and you have one index.html that you can link them all there. So it's the same thing with module. We have the ES6 version of the module, which is a JavaScript. So it enables us to separate our code into uh, several files and modules, so we can call them and use them in one file. So without wasting time, let's try to see. As usual, you need to create a folder, and then we drag the folder inside. So now our folder is here. Okay, so we are not interested in doing CSS, but we are here. Okay, so let's open our let's create a folder first of all. Let me try to zoom in. Ctrl Fn plus. Okay, like this is okay. So let's create a folder called JS or JavaScript. It depends on what you wish to call JavaScript, like this. Then inside this JavaScript, let's create some JavaScript file. Let's first of all have a main JavaScript file, which is going to act as index.html. So let's call this a main dot JavaScript. Okay, so let's link it here. So the way how we can link a module file, let's first do html5. Okay, let's say here we're talking about the module, the javascript module. Okay, here we have our h1 also. h1 learning JavaScript module, like this. So here we know where to connect our file always. This be below the closing of the body. So here we can pass what we can pass the directory. So it is at JavaScript. Then in JavaScript we have javascript.main. See the power of using Visual Code Studio, it's automatic help you in such stuff. So here is the JavaScript main. Here we can write our functions, whatever. We can even try to do some cons, get naming some element, like let me say title is equal to document. You can type those stuffs here. Document.query to select all, document.get element by ID. Anything you do here is absolutely correct. Here we are going to toggle our h1. Let me say h2. We are going to add h2 there. Remember, it has to be between the two code, h2. Okay, so that is it. And then here in our HTML, let's just add h2 down here, h2. Then we pass id here, id as h2. So here we have nothing else to do. We don't need HTML, so our mission is to deal with JavaScript. So let's close this one. So this is how we start. So assuming you want to have you don't want to use this main, maybe you want to have your clean codes. Okay, you want to make your code looks very clean, and you wish to create your functions, whatever, in all different assuming you're working on a project. The project have so many parts of JavaScript files, you need to implement them. So you'll just try to make them in a very good way. Maybe you say, okay, here is going to be the main for all the JavaScript, and then next you need to create some of the file. Maybe you want to create your file here, like this one is going to be only for API, api.js. It's going to handle the API. You want to create another one, like this one is for simple function .js, and you will have millions of them there. Okay, there's nothing wrong, can stop you, and then you just connect them all to main, and this main is already connected here into our javascript file. So how do it start with this one? Let's say in the place of API here, I want to create a function, so I'm going to say a function. Okay, function called like let's double the number, okay. Remember, you guys know how to make this one stuff of API, so but we are now demonstrating with something different. Okay, so let's say this one here is a function taking parameter. It's going to take a parameter, means you're going to put a number or something else you're going to put on later on. So okay, let's say this one is going to take a parameter called number. Okay, then this number here will say simple, this function is going to return. Okay, call the word return here, return number, which is a parameter, times 2. You want to double the number. Okay, number times 2. Okay, where is static? Okay, this one, like this is the function you have. And now I want to use this function in my javascript main file. Okay, so how do I do this one? First of all, I need to import the file. Okay, I have to import it either up or down. This one, there's nothing wrong about that. So here, in order to make this one to happen for us, okay, or assuming I say I want to import it here and I did not specify, first of all I'm going to face a challenge. Okay, assuming just by having this function here, okay, even if now I say like console log this function, or clg console log, call this double number here, double number, and then pass this one here just like this, and pass a number like 5. I know 5 times 2 is going to be 10, and assuming like this one I passed and I made the error, like I want to check it in the console log, guess what are we going to see? Control Shift I. Here's going to be nothing. You see something like error blah blah blah, but this is nothing, don't worry about it. Our case here is to check this place, just nothing, there's nothing there. So that means the file is not exported. So how do we make this file to be export? So we type the word here export, okay, in the beginning here, export, like this. Now we have the name of the function. So now if you go to our main javascript, because it is linked here, you are going to type the word here import, then the name of the function you want to put. Assuming I want to call it okay, the best practice, don't name it the way you want. Go here, see this name of the function, just copy, bring the name here to main, put the name here, then you type the word from, then here you specify the directory, where are you getting the file from. Okay, then you can scroll from here or there, so you can see where you are getting the file from. Maybe you are getting the file from API. Okay, they type the word here API.js, because it's a native JavaScript. Okay, the reason why it's you can put dot, okay, there are so many ways. Okay, like if you fear like this one doesn't work, maybe put dot, then you specify a route like this, it will auto predict for you. So here you just select the name of the file you want, you say okay, API, but remember you are in native JavaScript, I mean pure JavaScript. You can see we have HTML, CSS and JavaScript. It's just a pure one, so you need to put this one, it's just a native, you need to put .js. But if you are going to use JavaScript library, you need to eliminate this JS, you don't need to put it. But if you put it also, it will not refuse, it will work, because it will just understand. So now we have connected this one here. Let's say we want to call this function down here, console log, this function, we pass in this function, and then we need to pass a number, like we want to pass 10. What is multiplication of 10 times 2? Remember, the function is coming from here, everything is add up. So here we first remove, because we are exporting it, no need for us to console log from here. we want to console log from where we are importing in. So here now, if we go to check again, we are going to see a problem. Nothing is going to appear because in our index HTML we did not specify the type of the JavaScript file we are using. So here we pass on something known as type, we say attribute, then we say here module. Okay, module like this. Once you pass this one, now it will say okay, this JavaScript file is capable of importing and exporting files, and it can be shared across all their main here has a JavaScript. So let's go and test it. So here we go, here we see everything. We refresh, nothing seems to happen. Okay, so we need to see again what is the problem. You can see here the error saying the message close port, this is not enough. It's okay. Uncoach the module 9 number 2 main app does not provide an export name default. So they are saying what you're exporting is not default, so we are going to reach in a default. So I want to show you all the errors you guys are going to make. Okay, make sure you concentrate on this type of error called syntax error. This one, syntax error, is telling us the rules of using this one is wrong, it's not a default. So we'll get soon to what's the difference between default and the normal export. Okay, so here we go again. Here, since we say this one here is not default, then we say export function this one. That means when we are importing in here, okay, here we need to put this one inside our curly bracket like this. It will work because it's just a normal export. Put export, we did not specify the word default at the beginning of export syntax. So here now if we check everything very well. Okay, we refresh, then we go here, you can see 10 times 2 is equal to 20. And if you want also to bring this one here, I think you can do the same thing as usual we do with our basic JavaScript. We have title here, good, just say title. Title dot text content is equal to, then you can pass this number, and then which multiplication. If you want 10, you just type the word 10 here, and that's all. Once you click like this, then we can take a look from the browser. You see we are getting 20 here without any problem. So since it is a function, now it can enable you to perform any number you pass in, and it will calculate for you without any problem. Assume you want to get the multiplication of 100, guess what we will get here. Once we go to our browser, here you see it's 200. So if you want to get even the square of the number, it's not a big deal, just a matter of writing your function and just go to API. Here, this is a function. Here you can pass like number times number. This is what you will do, and simply you're getting the square of 100. Okay, like this, 100. You see the square is already there. So this is how we do with the export. So this is the first export we are talking about. The second export, assuming you want to export this one as a default. Okay, to export this one as a default is not something very big or something new. It's just a matter of sending this one, typing export in the beginning of the letter, and that's all. So as I've said, in the main it's going to be the entry of all responsible, or it's responsible for the all type of JavaScript file defined under, and it's going to be connected to main because main is connected to the index.html. So here we can see we have export function. You can put the name of function, then you have that one, and you can also export a variable constant. Not only you can export this one only function alone, you can export even a variable. Assume you have a constant here, a const known as name, and the name is equal to Ali, like this. So if you want to export this one too, you can just type here export here in the beginning, export name. So now I want to check the name here in our main, so I can just go, let me first close this one, main. I can just go to main here. Okay, here I can just import. I can just say here name. Okay, name. Then I can say from the same file. Then here if I want to see, maybe I can say okay, name. Okay, maybe I can say let me copy this one and pass it down. Text content to this one should be equal to name. Now assuming if I don't comment this one will appear, that number will appear for us. So I have to first of all check here. You see Ali is there showing, but it is omitted this one. So if you want, maybe you can go to this one and pass another h3, then pass some id to avoid confusion. Pass your id there, then you go back to your main file here, then you can import this one and rename this one to title 2. Just type it there, title 2, then here change this one to 3. Maybe now you can use this one title 2 here, tackle with this problem. If you want everything to be appear, then now since the JavaScript file will understand what's going on. So now let's try to put our side to side. Okay, so that's how it works, and that is very simple. But now Ctrl Shift Fn minus, okay, let me try to zoom this one out. Okay, good. Okay, there. So here sometime maybe inside API here you don't want to export things several times. Let me close this one. You don't want to export so many times, export this one, export, but because you can see all of them are coming from one file, there is no need for you to keep on renaming them. So you can either do it in this one. You can also export, instead of typing the word export up here and up here. Okay, you can just go down here and say export. Okay, then you put this one, you put 1, I'm exporting name, then 2, I'm exporting double number, like this, and that's all. By putting this word like this, okay, everything works excellent. And if I go up here, I can find everything is coming from there. Maybe I don't want to repeat everything, then I can just cut out this one and put comma here. Here I can pass on my name like this. Everything works excellent, no need to repeat things at the same time. So this is how we do with the export. We can export the constant, not only function. The constant can be exported, and so many things can be exported. The variable, everything can be exported without any problem. So this is all about export. But this one is called export explicitly because we try to gather all the function or the variable we want to export, then we send them all at the same time. So this explicit function. So if I want to export all of them as default, then I have to write here export default. Okay, default like this. Or first of all, let's take this one to the beginning there, export default. Let's comment this one out. So here I pass on the word export default in the beginning of this function. Then the way how I'm going to access this one, okay, it's going to be different. Now if I put like this, everything goes wrong because it's not the correct information how it's supposed to. The syntax failed, the rules is not exactly. So if I go back here, in order to import it back inside main, okay, I will just say import, then I will pass on the name of this double, and you see the number come out. And then if I want to do the same thing for this one, for Ali. I will just copy this one too, export default. I will type here, okay, export default const Ali, like this. Wait, expression syntax expected dot control Z, okay, export default. Okay, to collide with this one, wait, let's say export default here. It has to be down, export default. I put the name here like Ali, or name, okay, it's called name, like this. Now from import here is going to be like this, import name, just type dot name here and then save. Name and then title too, okay, it's correct. Import name from dot dot dot, refresh, okay, export default name. It has to be here, sorry, here, like this. Export default then we bring the word name here, you see here you are going to find these mistakes, okay. The export default, most of them it cannot work with our variable, okay, but it is sure it works with the function. Now if you change this one to function, let's say const, say this one is const to this one, okay, let's do like this, function known as name, okay, don't need to pass this one there anymore, it's going to be empty. Then we just say console log, like this, the word Ali. Want to check it in our browser, like this. Then instead of this one, just pass on here export default, remove that one, export default to this one, like this. Let's eliminate that one out, like this. And then now we need to log console log here. So once we call here name, okay, this is called name. So instead of passing it to this one, because it is not on form of that number of this one, let's just console log it here, clg, and see what is name, by the way, and see there you are going to find nothing. So if you go to API here, you have constant function export default name. So you are going to see how you import it. You import it in the correct way. So this is how we import something with the default behavior. Then here we call name and we try to see what is inside name. So here we go. Maybe you say if you change it to number, okay, change this to number like what you have there, and then the number you get there. Apart from here, you get the number multiply by 10 like this. now there you see it's not going to bring you, it's going to throw more errors. To first tell you here, if you see the more errors, try to see and read them and understand what are they saying. Okay, reference number is not defined, so they're talking number is not defined, so the error is probably not from what we are expecting. They are here. First you unlike you go and name the term. So now here you can see the function is almost coming with everything. So these are the errors. Okay, you guys will find them, it's inevitable. Now you do like this, you find like everything you write, it seems to be okay, but now it's not appearing. Always try to check the error section here. If you see here uncoach reference, okay, double is not defined, now you can be able to know, okay, we are making calls here on something which is not existing. So here once you put it like this, close it and save, it will work. And now if you say we want to check our API here, you see we are calling this one, and with everything here comes in there and it's telling us this one here. So once we console log, this is what we get on the screen and all the function comes in. So maybe you can say maybe you don't want this one like this. Okay, you see the function seems to be there, so you need to type the word return here. Okay, return here to avoid this one, this function name, what there, type return this one. So once you send this one as export default, in the main you first call it import this one from this one, then here you don't need to log this one first of all, no need. Then text to pass on this one, so we are expecting name here, okay, to pass a variable. Let's say I want to pass 3 times 10. Now once we refresh like this, we get a pure number without anything being logged. Okay, so these are the things you guys are going to need, but you don't need to worry. So I'm here to help you, guide you with all the errors that you guys might make. And then next is what, so this chapter is very short, it's not that big. Let me see, explicit export is done, function export function, okay, default export. Then we have something called code aggregate module. So here is going to help us like to bridge a distance between some files and export them to mail. So bridge aggregate, which is the last part here, assuming we have this simple function, this simple javascript file, I want to make it another separate file for javascript that contain other things of my, like arrays. Maybe I have the arrays, I want to look through them, filtering, mapping, anything. Or I have some API, I want to make their calls here private and I want to use it in main, but I want to use API here has this file here called API has a bridge between them. Assuming I have my function, okay, the function here which has a name of Ali, okay, then inside this function it's just empty. Okay, assuming I want to export it also default, export default like this. Once I export this one default, maybe I want to console log something, clg say all student taking course with us will be upgraded to final stage, that is advanced level. Just something like this, you log in. Okay, so we have exported as a default. Okay, let me close this one. So export this one as a default, and we want to call this function here to main, but I want to pass it as a bridge to this one. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to, let me first eliminate everything here. No need for source code for this one. You guys just watch video twice and that's all for your practical, because the ES6 module we are going to learn them in real JavaScript is very important Okay, that's why I decided to bring you this one here. There's going to be we are going to do all the project with export module there, but using some good shortcuts and syntax. It's going to be very easy. So here we go. We pass this information here, like want to export this one directly. Okay, export. Let's first put this one like this, and then we write the name of the file. So what is the name of our file here? Okay, we don't put this one here, we put it in. Okay, here's called Ali. Very good. Here in API, let's say you want, okay, this one is a different stuff, let it be there. You want to export Ali. Okay, this is the name Ali. I want to export it from, okay, here I can just pass this dot here, import slash. It's coming from simple.js. Remember to put the JS extension because it's a pure native application. So we are just export this one directly from here to there, and then we go to main. Now I want this one to work in the main. I'm using this one, has a bridge. Okay, it's just a bridge. Then here in the main section I can access it also in this way. Okay, the first thing, maybe I'll call this one Ali like this, and now this Ali need to be just console log clg console log Ali, or you don't need to console log, you just need to pass it to some variable. Here you're going to see something here. Okay, one syntax error. The request module simple do not provide an export name Ali. This is the first thing they're saying. If you go to they say if you go to this one, simple ali.js, line number 1 in API, does not provide export name Ali. He said the export name Ali is not there. So we will first go to simple and say, do we have export default function called Ali? Yes. The answer is yes, but they are saying it's not. That means we need to do something about it. Okay, so go to API. Is a bridge. We're sending this to that. To it's not default. Good. Let's say export only the word function. And now if you do like this, you are going to see the real-time export received before. Okay, click here on this one to see. Seems like everything alright, not that bad. And then here information, you see the function is somehow logged there with name return something. So okay, let's say here in main, instead of log something, okay, we have this one here already, text 2. Let me unlock this one. Then let's pass the word Ali because it has been logged there, and let's see the difference. Here I pass on Ali. We do like this. Let's see on the screen what is going to happen. Here you see the function is called Ali is returning with a number, and we are not expecting this number. We don't export this one here. Now if you close it, you see the error is still exists. They are saying syntax error, request module API does not provide export name default at line number 8. Export name default. Okay, export we see from here. Is it simple? Export what? You say export default like this, and then you save. Okay, here you're going to find like, okay, remove the S out. Here you're going to find like there is still there is a problem here. Provide export name Ali. So this error is just going to be there. Just be patient. It's always possible for you to always find the solution to it. Don't run away. That's why many people, they cannot continue because of the error. So if you're a guy or a lady who have problem with fearing those errors here, red line, so it's going to be tough, but just trust me, it's easy. So the requested module simple does not provide an export name Ali. They say if you go to simple, okay, very simple here, does not provide an export name Ali. So here we have Ali already, but it's saying does not provide an export name Ali. So now we are going to try it like this. What if we call this one here export default? Okay, this export default directly to main. Okay, directly to main and cross what is coming here from this one, and see what are we going to see on the screen. Okay, let's not call it from API, but let's call it from simple. Here's the export default here, Ali from API. Then we pass Ali here because it's already being console log automatic there. It's just a function that is console log this one. So here we go to main. Inside main we call this one as an export default, and then we pass it here as something. So here it will tell us like what, the same thing, request module API does not provide export name Ali. So we see, is it coming from this one or where? So saying it's API. Okay, good. It's supposed to come from simple. Let's say simple. Okay, simple.js. Now if you see very well, it will say the syntax error. Okay, let's see API. There's nothing coming from there. First of all, they are telling you simple. The error all is saying like there is nothing being exported from here, because here you can see you are exporting name and name doesn't exist there. You see, name does not exist there, and now you can see name here is being passed to does not exist. Now if you put this one off like this, now you will see syntax error. Yes, what is it? They may say port closed. Okay, this one is not a big deal. You can see now we have reduced this one. This one is not a big deal, it's just network issue. But now you can see something is being logged here. So if you say maybe we want to pass on this Ali into this one, clg console log, and pass Ali like this, and the save like this, at least you will see info. You find this one here. Okay, all the student, everything is there, and the function can be opened from there. So this is how you start handling this error in a easiest way without worry too much. So either you pass this function here with the word Ali as the name being passed directly here, you'll see what's happening here. But if you go to simple here, okay, so you have export console log, this one you will see. Okay, so now if we just want this one to pass direct to our browser, okay, maybe we can say clg. Okay, there are always so many ways. Try anything possible. Console log, and then now if I go to console log here, I can see this one is running 2 here, and it is here. We are console log everything coming from that function, and we are able to see it correctly without any problem. So this is how we handle the error. Now if you want to see our bridge system here, we say okay, since we have Ali is the one exporting from there, okay, first we eliminate this one, this function with name, and then we open this one which is coming from simple. Okay, now Ali is being imported from API. So instead of simple here, we pass the word